Shalom. All praises Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles of GMS. And honors out to the brothers doing the work in sincerity and truth. My name is Imam Kwam. This is a video based upon patience. Alright? Very important thing to have. And the purpose of this video is to show you can't receive the kingdom without having patience. Okay? Because to have patience is to receive the to hope for the kingdom to come, through faith, and that through that you might or may see the kingdom, which is the reward for having patience. All right. So the way we're going to do that is go into what patience is, and also, go back and forth with scriptures to further explain the reward for having patience. So this is Hebrews 10 and 35. Cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which have great recompense of reward. So by you've got to hold fast your confidence, and your confidence comes through the scriptures, which strengthens your belief in Yahweh Shai, in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which have great recompense of reward. Right, man. Because in the scriptures you're gonna find out that there is a reward for being patient and having confidence. For ye have need of patience. So you need patience in this truth. That after ye have done the will of God, ye might receive the promise. Okay? Now we're gonna get into the promise. Which is the promise? What was promised back in Genesis, the 27th chapter, to Jacob, between 28 and 29. We'll read verse 28. Therefore God give thee the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. All right. So we're gonna be sustained. All right. Let people more than sustain. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. All right. So we're gonna have slaves, races of slaves. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. All right. Now let's move on. That's the promise. And that's part of the reward for having patience. I'll read it again, verse 36, Hebrews 10 and 36. For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, ye might receive the promise. So let's go more into what patience is, man. This is Romans 5 and 1. Because you want patience. Now you know you have to have patience. You want to know what patience is to receive the promise of God. Romans 5 and 1. Therefore, being justified by faith, which we know faith, which is in Hebrews 11 and 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Taking to the point, man. Things that are hoped for. And we're also going to look into what hope is. So I shall continue. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Yahweh Shai. Right? So you'll be content through believing in the scriptures, man. Through the strength of your faith. By whom also we have access by faith into this grace, because without Yahweh Shai, we wouldn't have any remission of sins, man, or forgiveness, man. Because he's the mediator between us and the Most High. That sometimes we might go off, but the Lord will say, okay, the Lord will vouch for us because we're doing this work, man. because you have patience, or you're enduring, wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of God. All right. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations, also knowing the tribulation worketh patience. All right. So now we're going to get into some of these key words. We've defined faith. Now we're going to define what hope is, and we're going to define what patience is and experience. So we got those key words in this one verse here, Romans 5:4. So we're going to look into those words. Patience. Hypomon or hypomona. It is steadfastness, constancy, endurance. All right. A patient, steadfast, waiting for, perseverance. All right. And that's what you got to do. Can be continuous in this thing. That's why you got to keep putting out videos, and that helps build you up in the faith, man, and remind you of what you're waiting for. Now we're going to look up the word experience. Approved, trial, okay? Because to have an experience, or to be, to have experience is to really have been tried. Because once you go through suffering and the persecutions, then you're going to become more enduring, all right? And your works will show forth, man. That you was constant or consistent, and it's true, man. When you got an example of the apostles, man, how long they've been in this thing, and they've been through, their faith's been tried, and it shows through their experience. Well, let's go on to another word, man, which is the word hope. Hope is the expectation of evil. So once you've been enduring, to be enduring is to have an expectation of evil, and you know that it's coming, man. Another definition: joyful and confident expectation of eternal salvation. All right, and it goes hand in hand. You gotta have patience and the expectation of evil, and have fear to really look forward to the expectation of eternal salvation. All right, and you gotta be joyful and confident. On hope, in hope, having hope, the author of hope, or he who is its foundation, the thing hoped for. And what is the thing hoped for? Patience. The promise. The promise. Okay. So all these key words or key things go hand in hand. All right. So let's read Hebrews 10 and 36 again. For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, ye might receive the promise, which we already defined, both those keywords, patience and promise. Now we're moving on to verse 37. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. All right. So that's important, man. You have to know that the Lord will not tarry, man. He's on his way, man. He's well on his way, you know, to fulfill that promise of his Father, man, made between the Most High and our fathers. And now we're going to get into what part of that promise is. Daniel 7 and 27, because we already covered that we was going to have servants and slaves pertaining to Genesis, the 27th chapter and the 29th verse. Now we're going to get into more depth. Daniel 7 and 27, and the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints. Alright? Saints being we are set apart and sanctified from these other nations, man. Alright? Because we were given the law, statutes and commandments, alright, through Moses, our forefathers, and so forth, passed through generations, which we are the ones that were made covenant through blood, you know, that made sacrifice the covenant through blood, man. Alright? So that's the saints shall be given to the people of the saints, which are Israelites of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Okay? And the people that we're gonna serve the Most High and Yahweh Shai, alright, his sons, but the people are gonna serve the sons of the Most High, alright? And that's part of the promise. Revelations 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with sword must be killed with sword. Alright? Which evidently so right now, that's the so-called white man who's in power, which this is his dominion. Alright? But also all nations have had a time to rule. And they've all slain the chosen people, the Israelites, with a sword. So and the key word again, the buzzword here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So that's what the saints were waiting for, that the nations go into slavery, because they were looking forward to the what? The promise. This is Luke 1 and 69. And hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hands of all that hate us. Alright? So it's important that we're going to be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hated us. And that's part of us to be able to get that salvation. We have to have patience, to reiterate that fact. To perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant. Alright? It only applies to the Israelites, which had the covenant, which were the saints that made the covenant was set through blood and the sacrifice, and mainly the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, which was the lamb. Psalms 47 and let's jump to verse 3. He shall subdue the people under us and the nations under our feet. And that's what we hope for. That's what we endure for. That's what we have confidence for. That the nations go into slavery under us. Acts 1 and 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Alright, that's what our people are hoping for. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. So what does that mean? We have to refer back to Hebrews 11 and 1. Faith, which is what? Now the faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay? You know not the time or the actual day when we're going to be saved. That's why we have to endure. We have to be patient. Moving on. Revelations 14 and 8, because ultimately this is what's going to happen. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Right, being America, which is Babylon. Alright, that modern day Babylon. And then there's going to come a time where America's going to be totally destroyed, man. By Yahweh Shai and the angels, man. Alright? It's actually going to be destroyed by thermal nuclear destruction. Alright? And all these other kingdoms are going to be destroyed as well. This is all leading up to the destruction of the so-called white man's rulership. Read on, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. So anyone who accepts the RFID chip, which is an implantable device, which if you take that device, which is going to have all your details and your identity on it, which would be implanted in your hand or your forehead, Most High is looking to destroy you. And the saints look forward to that too, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So this is all prophecy, man. All right, and that is what strengthens your faith through the scriptures, knowing this is the evidence of things not seen, man. This is what we hope for. A cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of his holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right, this is what we hope for, man. That's why knowing this, you will endure, and you'll be happy, man. I'm gonna revert back to Hebrews 10 and 37. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. All right, he will not tarry, man. And this is showing you what's gonna happen as soon as he arrives, man. Don't think that this thing's gonna continue, for the next 5 years, 10 years. You should be looking at it like tomorrow. This thing can go down, man. Anytime. Just gotta have patience. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whomsoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahweh Shai. Alright? And that's why this, just to close this video, the purpose was to show you that without patience and consistency, alright, there is no recompense of the reward. Alright? And with that, I'm going to say shalom.